We will talk about a supply shortage in this episode because that is what is happening right now. Everyone knows that when supplies are low, prices go through the roof. Since the institutions aren't messing around, we'll go over everything, including who's buying and selling. According to what everyone thought would happen, the end goal is for big banks to flood the market with cryptocurrencies to control the price, and keep individual buyers away. And that is exactly the trend that is starting to show itself. We'll look at February to get a feel for the next 20 days. How do you know that we are 15? There are still 13 to 18 days left in February, give or take. Take a nice break while I tell you about the Bitcoin comeback at $97,445, and the things we are keeping an eye on. It's worth 83% more now than it was yesterday. At $2,642, Ethereum is losing money because the dollar peg is still in place, XRP is staying where it is, and USDT is joining the market. XRP Bitcoin has been stuck in a large range. These things tend to split up when they're in a band. With a price range of $240, XRP keeps coming back. BTC keeps going back up to $96,000 and $97,000. Like a magnet this time, and it will be to the upside. The total value of crypto's market is $3,176 million. I thought it was funny that the officials got together during halftime to think of ways to help Patrick Mahomes. It wasn't possible for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, were they? The reason is that their behinds were given to them. Let's talk about the halftime show right away. Halftime was bad. Is it just me or has the number of halftime shows gone down since 50 Cent and Eminem were on? I don't remember ever hearing a good Dog Snoop song after that. His music has been boring and repetitive ever since. It was terrible from my point of view. A lot of other people seem to agree with me. It was awful. Also, everyone looked forward to the Super Bowl ads. I don't remember any of it. You likely saw 3 or 4 things that stood out every time you looked at something like that. The price is going up because they're getting greedy. Companies from the 1990s can't afford to run Super Bowl ads anymore because they cost too much. It's like watching a funny Super Bowl ad when these companies go on Twitter. First I make myself a glass of Arizona iced tea. They say, you already know that we don't need a Super Bowl ad or anything like that. We already know how juicy we are. Things like that. It was pretty good on Twitter for free. I don't know how many millions of people watched them. That's how I feel about it. Watch them. That's how I feel about it. Looks like the Bitcoin market will do well. In that case, what do we usually look at? We showed it to you before. It looked like this. This is from a long time ago. There are records here from more than 12 years ago. Has been the second most bullish month for Bitcoin after October. We are about 6% in the red for February right now. I believe things will get better. Yes, I do. I think that April will be mostly bullish for the coin markets, with some bullish months in February and March. I think the Bitcoin run for the whole season might be a few months behind plan. Nothing strange or out of the ordinary. In my opinion, this run should have happened sooner. I think it's beginning to look like we are behind plan though. January, February and March. I think the run should have begun in the second half of December, gone through the first few weeks of January and finished in March. There should be a correction before the end of the year. I'm thinking right now, Bitcoin is where it all begins. We are going to look into this because it is important, and many people have already done so. As you may remember, Bitcoin will tell us where to go and how much money is coming into the market. It is only possible to buy 400 Bitcoins on over-the-counter markets. If MicroStrategy makes 3 more purchases and the prices of ETFs rise as much as they did in January, there will no more OTC Bitcoin left. As you can see, Bitcoin is having trouble getting enough coins. Since the US and 15 other states are already buying Bitcoin, there will be less Bitcoin available over the counter. BlackRock will also run out of Bitcoin if it keeps buying it. In the past we've only talked about the story, not what BlackRock has been doing. Everyone says that price is equal to quantity plus. It doesn't change because BlackRock is buying Bitcoin over the counter, so why isn't the price going up? Does the fact that BlackRock chose to buy at these prices mean that they think the bull run is over? It's clear that El Salvador isn't it. They have been slowly adding Bitcoin to their collection since November 18, 2022. After 27 months they have gathered 6,072 Bitcoin, which is worth more than $585 million. A lot is the best thing about it. We get wiped out in the end after getting caught up in the main coin game and chasing methods in search of gains and crazy money overnight. The best report I've ever seen, which was made by Dr. Profits, says that Bitcoin made up 1/3 of all over-the-counter sales in January alone. I am shocked. Market makers will be in a tough spot when the amount of Bitcoin or Bitcoin traded over the counter, OTC, goes down. Making fake news is a cheap way to get Bitcoin and get rid of the weak, which makes it likely that we'll see another black swan event like the one we just saw. By dropping prices and going out of business all along, they scared people out of the markets. Then they grabbed their Bitcoin. If that doesn't happen, they'll start a fear of missing out, FOMO, rise and buy straight from their exchanges. Soars to 100. So, you should also know where we are in the current bull run, and whether we are in a big bull market or the start of a new bad market. He says it's clear what happened. A huge bull market is going on right now. One indicator has a 100% accuracy rate, but more than one indicator supports it. How Bitcoin moves at the over-the-counter desk. In the past, when there was a big jump in over-the-counter entries, it meant that big players were selling because regular people were afraid of missing out. Companies are buying Bitcoin in secret. Let me say that again. ETFs bought Bitcoin worth $50,000 just in January, and no one is talking about it. The next step is loading, which not many people really get. No one would jokingly buy $50,000 worth of Bitcoin, and the real reason is that it would be dishonest. In order to sway the public, they would have bought spots directly from exchanges. And let people who don't know anything about the market tell you that Bitcoin is about to fall, or that the bear market has begun. The 30,000 Bitcoins they bought were just a joke. You think they're just kidding when they say they bought all this Bitcoin and are waiting for the market to crash? Not at all. They want to get as much Bitcoin as possible, because they know they can change the price at any time. That's why they're buying Bitcoin. Once there is no more Bitcoin available over the counter, they will have to buy it on an exchange. Right now, let me tell you this, they won't be able to buy all 200,000 Bitcoins at once, even if they bring them to an exchange. They can lock in the price when they buy it over the counter, which is helpful because the price will change and go up. One example is when